The previous lecture, today we are going to again discuss some of the important problems to clarify our concept regarding the relativistic kinematics. So, these are some illustrative examples, and actually, when you will solve these examples, definitely your concept regarding the relativistic kinematics will be very clear. So let us take the first problem. The first problem says that a spaceship S1 leaves the Earth along the positive x direction. Another spaceship S2 also leaves the Earth along the direction which makes an angle 60 degree with x-axis. The speeds of S1 and S2, S1 S2 are spaceships, are measured as 0.6 c and 0.9 c respectively by an observer on the Earth. It means these are speeds of S1 S2 with respect to an observer situated at the surface of the Earth. Find the speed of S2 as measured by the observer in S1. We have to measure in fact the speed of a spaceship S2 when it is seen by the observer situated in frame S1. S1 is taken here as a frame, but it is a spaceship. So now let us solve this problem. What this problem says, as you have seen, that the problem says that there are two spaceships. First one is S1, which is moving along x-axis, you can see in this figure, and its speed with respect to this Earth has been treated here as a frame. It is a inertial frame S. With respect to this S, the speed of spaceship S1 is given u1 equal to 0.6 c and it is along x-axis. And with respect to the observer situated on the Earth, that is with respect to the spaceship S, again you can see the speed of the second spaceship S2, here is S2 actually, this is u2 equal to 0.9 c, and the direction of this velocity u2 actually makes an angle of 60 degree with the direction of this u1. And we have to actually find what will be the speed of this spaceship S2 with respect to S1. So here S1 should be treated as a frame. Let us consider that the frame attached with S1 is S prime. So I consider here that S if an inertial frame attached to the Earth, and S prime an inertial frame attached to the spaceship S1. And so this second spaceship S2 is just behaving like an object or a particle whose speed is to determine with respect to this frame S prime. And S is an inertial frame. So definitely we should have to apply the velocity transformation equation. First of all, see what are given in this frame. Actually, when you consider a moving inertial frame, as I have considered here S prime attached to the spaceship S1, then its velocity is constant, and in fact in this problem this velocity has been given as 0.6 c. So this is just the velocity of the moving frame. So we denote it by the symbol v. So in this problem it is given that V means velocity of the spaceship S1 with respect to the Earth. And here S1 is actually treated as a moving inertial frame. So I have denoted this velocity by the symbol V, as in theory we have assumed it by the symbol V. So this V is given 0.6 c. And the object is the spaceship S2, and we denote the velocity of the spaceship S2 or the object by the symbol U. So U is here given in this figure, which have been shown by this U2. This is actually not treated as U. So U is given as 0.9 c, but at a direction making an angle 60 degree to the x-axis. So what will be this U2 here? You know this will be Ux I plus Uyj. And this Ux, you can see this figure, Ux will be 0.9 c cos 60 degree. Cos 60 degree plus I. Sorry, not plus, but I. And plus its y component will be 0.9 c sin 60 j. So you can find the x and y component of the velocity of the spaceship S2 with respect to the Earth. And therefore you can write here that Ux is equal to what? This will be actually equal to 0.9 c cos 60, and this will be 0.9 c into 1 over 2. Cos 60 is 1 over 2, and so this is 0.45 c. And what is Uy? You can see that Uy is 0.9 c into sin 60, and this will be 0.9 c into sin 60 is root over 3, and so this will be 0.45 into root 3c. So these are actually the x and y components of the velocity of our object, whose speed is to determine with respect to this frame S1. S1, when you say S1, it means S prime. This frame is S prime. So now let us use the velocity transformation equation. So now x component of velocity of S2 with respect to S prime. When you say S prime, that means S1. So we will actually use here the velocity transformation equation, and you have studied that U prime x, this is equal to Ux minus V over 1 minus V over c square into Ux. And now let us substitute the values of all the quantities in RHS of this equation. You have seen that Ux is equal to 0.45 c and V is 0.6 c, and over 1 minus V. V is again 0.6 c into Ux. Ux is 0.45 c and divided by c square. In fact, this will be equal to minus 0.15 c and divided by 0.73. After simplification, you will get this 0.73. And so, after simplification, we find that you can do the algebra, and that will be minus 0.205c. So we have obtained the x component of the velocity of a spaceship S2 with respect to S1. Now we have to find the y component of velocity of a spaceship S2 with respect to S1. And for that we will again apply the velocity transformation equation. So again you can see u prime y. What will be this u prime y? You know this is equal to uy into root over 1 minus v square by c square and divided by 1 minus v over c square into ux. Now again substitute the values of all quantities in RHS of this equation, and you have seen that this uy is equal to 0.45 into root 3c and root over 1 minus v square by c square. V is what? This is 0.6c and c whole square, and divided by 1 minus 0.6c into ux. Ux is 0.45c over c square. So when you will actually simplify this, your result will be u prime y equal to 0.854c. So actually we have obtained the component of velocity of the spaceship S2 with respect to the spaceship S1. So here actually this is u prime x and this is u prime y. So if the resultant velocity of a spaceship 2, that is S2, with respect to the spaceship S1 is, if it is, let us say, u, then what? Or you can say u I have actually supposed to the velocity of this spaceship with respect to the Earth. So here I am now considering that this is, let us say, u naught. So what will be the resultant of this? What will be the magnitude of resultant of this velocity u naught, which is actually the speed of the spaceship S2 with respect to S1. So speed, when you say speed, it means this will be actually the magnitude of velocity. So speed of S2 with respect to S1. When you say S1, that is frame S prime. So I have assumed it as u naught. So this you can see from this figure that this u naught will be simply u prime x square plus u prime y square's square root, and we will substitute the values of u prime x and u prime y, which we have obtained here. You can see here that u prime x is minus 0.205c and u prime y is 0.854c. So this will be a square root of 0.205c whole square plus a square of 0.854c square. In fact, after simplification, you will find that this u naught is equal to 0.87c. 0.87 c. So this is actually the speed of the spaceship S2 with respect to the spaceship S1, and this was actually to find in this problem. So we have solved this problem very easily. You can see by the use of the velocity transformation equation, which actually we have studied in the previous lectures. Now we will see the second problem. Here is the second problem I have noted here, and the problem says that two events 10 to the power minus 7 second apart in time take place at 2 points which are 50 meter apart on the x-axis. Find the speed of an observer moving along the x-axis who observes the two events simultaneously. What will be the spatial separation between these two events as seen by this observer? This observer means moving observer. So what actually in this problem has been said, let us understand it first and then we will solve this problem. Actually the problem says that the two events are taking place at a separation of 50 meter on x-axis. So let us consider here in this figure there are two inertial frames. See this figure. This first frame, let us say, is S, and its coordinate axes are X, Y, and Z. And the second frame is actually moving with respect to this first frame, and we consider it as a primed frame, let us say S prime, and the problem says that it is moving with a uniform velocity, let us say v, in the positive x direction. And here is the observer of this frame, this is O prime, and now on this x-axis actually the two events are taking place. Let us consider that the first event is taking place at this origin O, and I have marked it as 1. This 1 actually represents the first event. And let us say this is the position where the second event takes place, and I have marked it by 2. And with respect to this frame S, the separation or a spatial separation, you can say, between these two events, that is event number 1 and event number 2, the problem says that the spatial separation between these two events is 50 meter when it is measured by the observer O of frame S. So this separation is actually equal to 50 meter. But remember, this separation is actually in with respect to the frame S. Now the observer O of frame S finds that the event which are taking place at this point O and this point 1 and this point 2 are actually separated in time by 10 to the power minus 7 second. What does it mean? It means if we consider that with respect to frame S, the first event takes place at 0 time, then the second event will take place at 10 to the power minus 7 second. So in frame S, the events 1 and 2 are specified as how these two events will be specified in frame S. You can see that the first event taking place at this position O, when seen by the observer O of frame S, then the observer will specify it as 0, 0, 0, 0. It means the space coordinate of this point are 0, 0, 0, x is 0, y is 0, z is 0, and time is also 0. And when the same observer observes the event taking place at this point 2, what will be the specification? You can see the x coordinate of this point 2 with respect to this frame S will be 50 meter. So x will be 50, but the position is lying on x-axis, so y and z will be 0, and time as given in the problem, that is 10 to the power minus 7 second. I have not mentioned here second, here meter, but this is 10 to the power minus 7 second and this is 50 meter. So these are actually the specifications of the first and second event as observed by the observer O of inertial frame S. Now the problem says that there is a frame, let us say S prime, which is moving with a constant velocity v in x direction, and the observer O prime of this another frame also observes the same two events. But this observer finds that these two events are taking place simultaneously. And when you say these events are simultaneous in frame S prime, what does it mean? It means the observer O prime will note that the event taking place at point 1 and at point 2 are actually taking place at the same time. So now let us specify these two events in frame S prime. But for this we have only to know the time at which these two events will take place with respect to the frame S prime. So we will use actually the Lorentz transformation equation only for time. So according to Lorentz transformation, you know, for time Lorentz transformation is t prime equal to t minus v over c square into x, v by c square into x, and divided by root over 1 minus v square by c square. Here you can see that this time t prime is the time noted corresponding to the time t measured in frame S. What does it mean? It means when the observer O says that time of an event is t, then the same event is said to be taking place at time t prime with respect to the frame S prime. So using this formula we can find what will be the corresponding time of the taking of the events 1 and 2 in frame S prime. You can see that in frame S the time of taking place of first event is 0, you can see here. So corresponding to this 0 time we will now calculate the time of taking place of event number 1 with respect to the frame S prime. So in frame S prime, the event 1 takes place at a time, we will use this formula. See here, we note it at t1 prime, and t1 prime will be actually equal to what? T, and this t is actually 0 here, you can see. So this will be 0 minus v over c square. V is not known. Actually in this problem we have to find this v into x. As you can see, this event actually takes place at the origin of this frame S. So x will be 0 and divided by 1 minus v square by c square's square root. And you can see this is simply 0. So observer of frame S prime also finds that the event taking place at point 1 is actually takes place at 0 time. Now we will find what is the time of taking place of the second event with respect to frame S prime. You know the second event in frame S takes place at a time 10 to the power minus 7 second. So we have actually to calculate the time corresponding to this time 10 to the power minus 7 second in frame S prime. So in this formula now t will be actually equal to 10 to the power minus 7 second, and what will be this x? X will be actually equal to 50 meter, and then we will find the corresponding time t2 prime measured by the observer O prime of frame S prime. So you can say the time the sorry this is the time t2 prime of event 2 to in frame S prime corresponding to the time t2 equal to 10 to the power minus 7 second in frame S. You can write it by this Lorentz transformation. T2 prime will be equal to T2 minus V over C square into X2 divided by 1 minus V square by C square's square root. And you can see this T2 is given what? This is given in this problem. This is 10 to the power minus 7 second. And this will be minus V by C square, and X2 is given 50 meter and divided by 1 minus V square by C square's square root. So this is the time at which the second event takes place with respect to the frame S prime. But the problem says that the event 1 and 2 are actually simultaneous in this moving frame. So this T1 prime must be equal to T2 prime for the simultaneity of events. So as the events 1 and 2 are simultaneous in frame S prime. So for the simultaneity of events in frame S prime, what will happen? For this, you know, these two times will be equal. When the time of event are equal, you call that the events are simultaneous. So now let us substitute the values of T2 prime and T1 prime. You can see this is T2 prime. This is 10 to the power minus 7 minus V over C square into 50 over 1 minus V square by C square, and T1 prime, you have seen that the value of T1 prime is actually equal to 0. So now let us substitute here 0, and from here you can see that this 10 to the power minus 7 minus V over C square into 50 will be equal to 0. And when actually you will solve this equation by applying the simple algebra, I am leaving that algebra for yourself, then you will get that this V is equal to 0.6C. So this is the answer of the first part of your problem. So if the frame S prime will move with this velocity 0.6 c in x direction, then the observer of this frame will found that the two events are taking place simultaneously. Now, in the second part of our problem, it has been said that what is the spatial separation between the 2 points where the event takes place. As you have seen that the spatial separation when measured in frame S is 50 meter, and now we have to actually measure the same spatial separation with respect to frame S prime, which is actually a moving frame. So you can think we will simply apply the length contraction formula, because if there is a length, you can say, of 50 meter between the 2 points 1 and 2 as seen by an stationary observer. So when actually a moving observer moving in this direction, that is in x direction, and this separation is also of x direction, will move actually with a speed v which is 0.6 c, then that observer will actually found that this length has been shortened. And what is the new length? You can find simply by applying the length contraction formula, or you can say the Laurent-Fitzgerald length contraction formula. So in frame S, separation between 1 and 2, this is actually equal to 50 meter. When you say 1 to 2, this is 1 to 2 separation. So this, let us say this is the proper length, this is L0, and in frame S prime, let us say this separation is L. So what is this L we have to find? So from length contraction, formula, you know L is equal to L0 into root over 1 minus v square by c square. Here L0 is 50 meter, so we will put it 50 meter and a square root of 1 minus v square by c square. We have obtained that v is equal to 0.6 c, and this is c and whole square. So you can see this L will be equal to 50 into root over 1 minus 0.36, and so this will be actually 50 into this will be 0.64, and the square root will be 0.8, and so L is equal to 40 meter. So you can see the same the separation which was actually 50 meter with respect to the frame S is now of 40 meter with respect to the moving frame. So this is the complete solution of your problem number 2. Now actually we will see the third problem which I have written earlier, and let us now see what is this third problem, and then we will actually solve it. So you can see what is the third problem. You can see here the third problem is, you can see that the third problem says that a relativistic particle of mass m and velocity c over 2 z hat. Z hat is actually a unit vector along z direction, is moving towards a wall. The wall is moving with a velocity c over 3 z hat. Wall is also moving. This is not a stationary wall. If the particle suffers an elastic collision with the wall, then find its velocity after collision. In fact, this problem will be also solved by using the velocity transformation equation, but how we will solve it, let us see this. First of all, we will see what is actually the problem, what this in this problem has been said, and then we will solve it. In fact, this you can see the problem says that there is a wall. Let us say this is a wall, but this wall is not stationary. This wall is also moving, and the velocity with which this wall is moving is c by 3. Z hat actually denotes the direction, so I am not mentioning here this Z hat. Let us say this is the direction of Z axis, and the wall is moving in this direction. And there is a particle, and this particle is moving in the same direction, that is in the direction of Z hat, with a larger velocity c by 2. It means velocity of this particle p is greater than velocity of this wall, and both are moving in same direction. In fact, these two velocities, that is velocity of particle is c by 2, velocity of wall is c by 3, are actually given with respect to an observer fixed on the surface of the earth. So these are actually the velocities of these two objects. Now the problem says that this particle suffers an elastic collision when it is incident on this wall. You can see the particle is faster than the wall, so definitely after some time it will hit the wall, and after hitting it suffers an elastic collision. Let us say that this is the position where this collision takes place, and after collision the particle will rebound. And you know, since wall is of infinite mass theoretically, and when a lighter particle suffers an elastic collision, or you can say perfect elastic collision with a body of very large mass, then actually what happens? The velocity of the heavier body remains same, but the lighter particle actually rebounds. It means velocity of this lighter particle after collision will remain same, but its direction will be just reversed. So in fact we have actually to find the velocity of the particle after the elastic collision, and what will be that? But that velocity is in this condition, in classical mechanics you say that the velocity will remain same, that is c by 2, but that will be c by 2 only when this wall will be stationary. But since the wall is also moving, so we have to calculate the velocity after collision by using the formula of relativistic velocity transformation. So now let us consider a frame S dash attached to the wall. In fact, we consider that this moving wall is a frame, and we name it S prime. So in this S prime frame, what will be actually the velocity of the particle before collision? You can see now this S prime is a frame which is moving with velocity c by 2, and P is our particle whose velocity with a stationary frame is c by 2 in same direction, and we have to measure the velocity of this particle with respect to this moving frame S prime. So we will apply actually the velocity transformation formula. So let S prime be the frame attached with the moving wall. Now actually we are treating this moving wall as a frame, and so we will denote the velocity of this moving wall by the symbol v. So it is given that v is equal to c by 3, and the velocity of our particle before collision we will denote it by u, and this u is given c by 2 with respect to a stationary frame. Now actually we have to find the value of the velocity of the particle with respect to this moving wall. Then in accordance with the velocity transformation equation, we can find this. So according to a relativistic velocity transformation, a relativistic velocity transformation, velocity of the particle before collision with respect to S prime, that is wall. S prime frame I have assumed is attached with the wall, and you know the formula is, since this is one dimensional motion, so I am not writing here any subscript, and you know this u prime is equal to u minus v over 1 minus v over c square into u. Now let us substitute the values of all quantities in RHS of this equation. You can see u is equal to c by 2 and v is equal to c by 3, as you can see here, and divided by 1 minus v. V is c by 3, u is c by 2 into 1 over c square. So when we will simplify it, we will find that this is equal to c over 5. So you can see that the observer situated on this wall will find that the velocity of the particle with which it is approaching the wall is not c by 2, but it is c by 5. Now actually we have to find the velocity after rebound. So now see here that now this particle actually suffers the velocity, suffers the elastic collision. So in this frame, when we will actually take this wall as a frame, then in this frame the particle will rebound with a velocity minus c by 5. When you say minus, what does it mean? It means its direction will be just reverse. So this will be minus c by 5. And we have now actually to find in fact in Earth's frame it will be rebounded by this speed, and now we have actually to find the velocity of this rebounding particle with respect to this moving wall. So again we will apply the velocity transformation formula. So now the velocity of the particle after collision. Velocity of the particle after collision, if we will denote it by the symbol, let us say u, then this u will be actually equal to what? This will be u, let us say this is in fact this velocity is, let us say, ux. Then this will be u prime x plus v over 1 plus v by c square into u prime x. And now let us substitute the values of all these things, and in fact this u prime x is now minus c by 5. So this will be minus c by 5 plus v. you know this V is actually, you can see here, this is C by 3 and divided by 1. Due to this minus sign, here will be minus C by 5 into again minus C by 5. So this minus C by 5, and again there will be, but this is C by 5 and divided by C square. And so this will be actually equal to, this will, after simplification, take here LCM and you will find that this is C into minus 3 plus 5 divided by 15 and divided by, here C will be actually cancel out, and that will be 15 minus 1 over 15. And so after simplification, what actually we will get? You will find that this is equal to 2C over 14. 2C over 14, 15 will cancel out, and so this is equal to C over 7. So this is the answer. This will be actually the velocity of the particle after the collision. So you have seen that applying the idea which we have developed in relativistic kinematics, we can solve the numerical problems, and actually in various competitive examinations you are asked such type of problems. So I feel after these two lectures on the numerical problems, your idea has been very clear and you can solve the numerical problems from your textbook, and you will find that these lectures will be very helpful to you.